Well, I'm joined now by William Stewart from the Times Educational Supplement. We're also joined tonight by Adam Bradford, who decided against university and started up his own business instead. It's great to have you both on the programme tonight. William, let's start with you. So university is popular as ever, despite tuition fees coming in last year. It seems that's not deterring students. No,
it seems not. And it seems a lot of students are getting the places they wanted. It's relatively high stakes this year. If you got an ABB, then you'll have universities sort of crying out for you to come in because of changes to the funding system. Unfortunately, if you finish just below that, you might find it a little more difficult to get into some of the more selective institutions.
No doubt there'll be thousands of students who are looking at their results tonight, kind of going through the clearing system. But Adam, it wasn't that long ago. It was only 2 years ago you were in this situation. It's an anxious day, isn't it? Do you remember how you felt?
It is. I mean, I actually booked the trend a little bit and said, actually, university's not for me right now.
And did you make that decision on the day of your results, or had you always planned that when you were doing your A-levels?
It was through the year while I was doing it. I got a grasp for the practical world, and I was on the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy course, which is all about learning through doing. And I realised there's a whole wide world out there. I want to get outside the four walls of the classroom and do something for myself to really exercise my passion.
And William, Adam's story is very interesting. It's certainly not unusual, isn't it? I know there's been a survey out today that suggests 1 in 4 18-year-olds don't realise that there are plenty of other options you can do rather than just go to university. Are you surprised by that number? It's quite high, isn't it?
I'm not in a sense, because I think a lot of the debate about education does centre on the academic route. You could say some critics of this government particularly would say they've made things maybe not more elitist, but certainly more focused on traditional A-levels, and actually you've seen a lot of pupils turning to those traditional A-levels in today's results. So maybe that message isn't getting across as well as it might do.
What do you think, Adam? Is it a high number in your opinion? Or were you always aware that there are apprenticeships, there are work placements, there's plenty of other things you can do as well?
Well, I think the issue is really getting our young people to be aware that these things are out there. I mean,
so how do you do that?
There's websites like Uni's Not For Me. You can get on Twitter, go on Facebook, speak to your friends, go out to events, go to networking events, find out about your career, get a mentor who's done a job that you wanted to do, and that can really help you get one step ahead and think, I'm going to be ahead of the game now, I've got that knowledge.
William, of these students who were surveyed, it was a very big survey, over 2,000 students asked, they believed that university was the best place or best way of getting a job. I mean, are they right? Is there evidence to back that up, do you think?
I don't know if I'm completely qualified to answer that question. I mean, one thing that is worth saying is that schools actually play quite a big part in this, because it's schools where you get the careers guidance. And again, there are sort of significant pressures on schools to get more pupils into so-called elite universities, so Russell Group universities. They're introducing new league table measures which schools will be judged on, which they will get credit for getting more pupils in that way. So you could say they're being pulled away from suggesting vocational courses.
And there's peer pressure as well, isn't there? And there's certainly parental pressure as well. Did you feel any of that?
My parents were very supportive of whatever I wanted to do, and I'm really lucky to have that. But for some young people, their parents might think university is the only option. And like now I'm working for a charity which supports people other enterprises.
But a lot of young people will say, look, when you go to university, you can socialise, there's clubs, there's sports, you widen your friend network. Of course, there's a lot of fun in the evenings as well. You get freedom from your parents, you travel. Do you feel you've missed out on any of that?
Maybe I have sacrificed my social life a little bit, but actually I've had a whale of a time creating my dream career, and I think that's what this is about. It's not about the good times, it's about the rest of your life.
And William, would you done anything differently, do you think, if you spool back the clock?
I think I would have done lots of things differently. I think in terms of...
Would you have still gone to university?
I think probably. I mean, and just quickly to put the other side, I mean, there is new research out today that suggests that there's a much higher premium in terms of what you'll learn over your lifetime for going to university. So it's worked well for Adam, but for other people, there might be benefits the other way.
OK, we appreciate your thoughts and the best of luck for the future. Thanks very much for coming in.